Film School Slacker contains adult language and themes. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to another episode of Film School Slacker. I'm Megan.
I'm Ian.
And I am helping him go through his ever-growing movie list. However,
this is true.
Since I'm doing the intro, you know what that means. It is another Flip the Script episode where I watch a movie that Ian has seen and I have not.
Yes.
So today, what are we watching?
We are watching...
I don't know why I said that like a sports announcer. What are we watching?
Good. No, if I haven't done an episode in a while, I just am like, what do I do? What is my whole thing?
Where am I?
What are we doing? We are watching Saving Grace, 2000 film directed by Nigel Cole, starring Brenda Blethyn and Craig Ferguson. It is co-written by Mark Cowdy and Craig Ferguson.
Oh, I didn't know he wrote it.
Yes. Okay. And did you ever watch the show Doc Martin?
No.
Okay. There's literally like an entire TV series was spun off of this. Doc Martin literally was created because of Martin Clunes' character in this got evolved into Doc Martin.
Nice.
But yeah. It's let's see. Cinematography by John DeBorman, music by Mark Russell, and it's 93 minutes long. All shot in the UK. I'm just desperate to know how you feel about this film because it's one of my absolute favorites.
Gotcha. So no pressure. Really, all I know is that Craig Ferguson is in it, and that you talk about it fairly often.
I do.
That's pretty much it.
Is there are there any details from me talking about it that you really? I can't tell. It's just that I've done a good job of hiding it, or that you just weren't listening.
Maybe a little bit of both. Honestly, it's gonna be a little bit of both. Well, also there will be situations that we get in, and you're like, "Oh, that reminds me of this thing of Saving Grace," but then you never
explain the Saving Grace part. Yeah.
So
no, that's fair. This is a movie that I find profoundly charming.
Okay.
And it's this very early 2000s British
I love
thing
that
is so hard to explain.
I fucking love that vibe,
and it's very Craig Ferguson humored.
Okay.
So that I don't know how else to
it's gonna be a good time.
I'm very excited. And it's been a long fucking week. It
has been a long fucking week.
So I'm stoked to just sit back and watch something.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. Let's roll the tape.
Roll it. What is it about British cinema from the aughts?
It's so specific.
It's such a vibe.
It really is.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And it makes me nostalgic for a place that I wasn't until 2013.
Right. Exactly.
Wow.
This is one of my absolute favorite films.
It is utterly charming.
Yeah, and I think that's the only description you can really get out of it. It's not, you're not going to get blown away. You're not going to have cinema redefined for you.
It's really not going to make you ask really deep questions.
No, but you're going to be charmed against your will.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you're an Anglophile.
I mean, yeah. And friggin' Craig, if you like Craig Ferguson,
yes,
I think you'll find definite things to enjoy about this movie.
Yeah, Craig Ferguson's footprints.
Come for the Craig Ferguson, stay for Brenda
Blethyn.
Yeah. She was
she's a treasure.
She is a treasure.
She's
be my mom.
I know. She's just this she's if I had a British mother, I want her to be Brenda Blethyn. Yeah, I don't know how else to describe it.
It's funny because she plays one of the most annoying mothers in British literary and cinema history. She plays Mrs. Bennet in the 2005 Pride and Prejudice.
You mentioned it during the screening, and then I remembered that
you haven't seen it?
some roommate lore. Allie loves all Pride and Prejudice. It is her thing.
I also enjoy it quite a bit.
It makes me really sleepy. That's just my thing, I guess.
It's
yeah.
It's not everyone's cup of tea.
It's fine. Regency era stuff just really disengages me. But I remember seeing her while she was watching that. Would you say it was the 05?
Yeah, I think it was 2005.
Yeah, and I remember being like, "Oh, is that Brenda Blethyn?" And and it's like specifically from this movie.
Love it.
And I'm just like, she's so much less fun in this.
Yeah. Well, and that's, I mean, Mrs. Bennett as a character is just
not fun.
written to be unlikable and a little too much in a bad way. Yeah. You know?
And
so
clearly she has range. I mean, during the course of this movie alone, like,
she goes from like, you get the feeling of like pampered housewife grieving her husband, to like empowered drug dealing.
I think that's the part that I really like about this is it's a woman of a certain age who has a romance arc.
Right.
2, she has an arc that's from very like housewife, keeps the house together, doesn't know anything about money, doesn't know whatever, and to the point where she is making like setting the rules for herself and others and getting her shit together. And I think that's so cool.
It is like really, it's a really good I don't know, like, so talking broad strokes about the plot, her situation in the beginning of the movie is one of my biggest fears, is that, you know, my husband, partner, whoever, I mean, Aaron, is that he dies.
Goofball guy.
Yeah. and I don't know jack shit about our finances. So like, and in order, like, you know, we're a very different kind of couple, you know,
than they are
because, you know, they're probably boomers who grew up in that traditional quote unquote, like, the man goes out, makes all the money,
and she stays home and does nothing.
She stays home and doesn't have her own job, but she, you know, she has her orchids, she has her own interests, and she's an incredible gardener. Like that's her thing, and his thing is making the money to support that. But like, I am so angry at her husband.
Right.
Because it's not just about the money thing. Like, it's about the breach of trust there that was, because he put up their house
and didn't
where
tell her
they live.
Like when you are engaging, and that's the big thing, is like if you are in a situation where you are making a decision that
will impact
your partner if
and
something goes wrong, you
tell them,
and they're not aware,
and she just doesn't know. Like, no wonder you threw yourself off that plane, you prick.
Right. Exactly.
Like,
exactly. Of course he did. Right.
Like, you know, I hope you had a nice long think to yourself on the way down before you went splat.
Like, and she knew that he was cheating on her.
Yeah.
And like she was like kind of just making peace with that.
Yeah.
But it turns out like he was, I feel like financial infidelity is so much worse. Well, if you don't have the agency yourself in the way that your relationship is set up, that's awful, because it doesn't set you up like to have your own life.
Then she just has nothing except her gardening.
Right.
And that's eventually how she, you know,
tries
pulls
to get
herself out of it.
Yeah.
But still, like, if she, you know, if the stars hadn't aligned, she would have been out on her ass.
Yeah.
She would have been homeless.
Exactly.
Jobless. Like, no way to make. She doesn't have, you know, work experience. She doesn't have.
She's got nothing. She's probably been married to him for 30 or 40 years.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
I am so livid about that.
And I think that this movie does a really good job of setting the scene to being like, and they never, like, the husband is just like not part of anything.
Yeah.
Like, he is barely a story point.
That we never get like a sentimental flashback to like paint him as a human.
Just a flick of a cigarette, bastard. That's it.
I really wanted her. And there was one point earlier where she goes home and she like slams his photo, the photo on like the piano or whatever. She slams it down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, just throw it out the window, girl.
Right.
Just take every single photo of him, burn it in your fireplace, set it on fire, take a shit on it. Like, I don't like
just it's
that's exactly what I would have done. But
Yeah.
again, I'm not as repressed as a British person.
That's correct. Yeah,
So-
no, they are a special breed of repressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love you all the Brits out there.
Right.
But
No, we mean it in like a we love to watch Bake Off kind of way, but also
God.
like y'all need some therapy.
I mean, everyone does.
Everyone
it's fine.
does. That is true. That is my hot take. Is
Everyone needs therapy.
if anyone
all of
needs
the time.
therapy, we all need therapy. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad
yeah,
you
so-
got the vibe that I like about this film.
Yeah. So I was like going into it the first 20 minutes, the first act. I'm like, this makes me uncomfortable. This is a little too real because again,
Yeah.
it's playing on that fear I have.
Yeah, you were very quiet for the
Yeah.
first 20 minutes of this film
And
while they were
then-
kind of playing through
And
it.
then Craig Ferguson's character kind of comes into play a little
Yeah.
more, and yeah. Do we want to get into my
Oh,
notes?
I am dying to hear your notes.
All right, so my first note is, of course it starts with Greg Ferguson smoking in an open grave while he's digging the grave.
Yes.
Like,
Oh, it's so good.
Jesus, Craig, I can't take you seriously with that earring.
Right. I don't know if he ever like had that like in life or he just had it for the character. I genuinely do
I
not
don't
know.
know. I honestly don't
know
know
either.
You know?
Yeah, it was good though.
I
It
don't
worked
think,
for the
well,
character.
because like on the Drew Carey show, mid to late 90s, I don't think he had it.
No. And he didn't really during his run on the Late Late Show, so
Right.
I don't think that was a thing.
No, it
Yeah.
must have been a fake one.
How good was the Late Late Show though?
Very good.
Oh my god, he was so good.
I miss you, Craig.
Right?
The greenhouse is giving practical magic vibes, which is
Yes. Sure.
Have you seen that?
No, I don't think so. I mean,
Put it on the list because it's such a chick flick.
let's see what's on the list yet.
Is David Bowie not an alien? Because they're it's him
Harvey.
and Harvey just walking down the lane
Yep.
after the funeral, and he's like, you can tell right away Harvey's a bit of a conspiracy nut.
It's already on the list.
Nice. So after the funeral, there's the woman with the sunglasses and
Yes.
the headscarf and the
Right.
red lipstick, and I'm like,
Yes.
that's a mistress.
That's a mistress. Yep.
That's a mistress if I've ever seen one.
Uh-huh.
And the constable's eyebrows. They are just quintessential old man bushy eyebrows.
They need their own billing.
They do.
Honestly, yeah. No, I agree.
Who the fuck do I have to fuck to get this house?
Well, not her husband apparently.
I mean, well, to get the house, yes, but not to keep it.
Well, I mean, Honey fucked him, and she didn't.
Oh, that's true. But
she didn't get the house.
She did live in a pretty nice flat in
She
London.
had a very nice flat in London. That was a cool flat.
That was a cool flat.
Yeah, you're right.
44
West something Wilberforce. I don't know.
Wilberforce.
Wilberforce Street, SW.
SW3. To live in a charming British seaside town. Like
I was waiting for that comment because
I think like that's just sort of the general vibe of like the baseline
General
vibe of this movie is just
Yeah.
I
I
want
wanna
to live in
live
a
there.
cute
Yeah.
little British seaside town
think-
where literally everyone knows when you start smoking, when you start growing pot in your
yeah, it's definitely
in your
like
greenhouse.
a British seaside town pornography.
Oh yeah.
Disguised as a comedy,
Mm-hmm.
like, 'cause that's really like every other shot is just like a kind of porny shot of the landscape.
Did you ever watch Broadchurch?
No,
Okay.
Well, I maybe have seen pieces of episodes that you've
Probably.
been watching.
Yeah.
That's the one with
David Tennant,
and Olivia Colman.
Olivia, yeah.
Yeah.
So good. And
I-
again, another
both phenomenal
small
actors, yeah.
British seaside town that
There's something about it.
except it's like really dark because
Of course.
it's murder, and
I mean, I would argue that the way that this town was played was dark the whole time. It was never like, like
it was never idyllic. It's not
No.
like a Gilmore Girls small town. It's
Right.
it's definitely like a
lived in real small
Yeah.
town. Yeah.
yeah. This is one of my biggest fears. What a fucking prick her husband is to leave her with nothing and no way to earn a living.
Right.
It's the breach of trust that makes me angriest. This
Yeah.
guy spent years lying to his wife.
Literally.
Because
Yeah.
it seems like every business he invested in
failed. Yeah.
And like
Yep. Yeah. No.
and you're just okay with
I think we're safe to cancel John Trevethan.
he can rot.
He can suck it.
Like, I'm surprised she was bringing flowers to his grave. I would have
Well,
literally
she didn't know at the time.
No, I'm talking about later in the movie when she confronts Honey.
Honey, that's right.
They're both
Yeah,
bringing flowers.
I would not have brought flowers to me there. Yeah,
I
that's
would
a
have
good point.
brought a nice, hot, steaming,
Pile of shit.
literally, like I would volunteer I would like hang out at the dog park one day
And just wait for a dog to shit.
and just pick up every single dog's shit that
And
I
just
could get
bring
my
them
hands
all.
on, bring them
Yeah.
all, and then just dump them right on his headstone.
Amazing.
Aaron, I hope you're taking notes.
Oh no.
I hope you remember this.
I feel like it's not a high risk scenario.
No, it's really not.
But yeah, no, I mean that's a legit fear though. Like if you're not managing your finances,
Right.
it's like yeah.
Well, and like, I mean, Aaron handles our stuff. Like,
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like,
But
I mean,
like, I make sure to
and you
check in and be
and
like,
also
okay, hey,
you
where are we at?
historically have a skill set you've been working. Like you're
That's
not
true. Yeah.
You're not.
I have a
worked,
job.
You've worked more than you haven't worked.
Correct, yes.
Whereas she probably has never like done like a standard job
Yeah.
ever.
Sure.
Yeah.
Her CV would be very short.
Yes. Orchids.
Orchids. That would be
and,
it.
And maybe some sort of degree at university.
Or
maybe.
and like maybe her social engagements, like the women's
True.
the ladies group.
That's the ladies group. Next order of business.
Next order of business. I love that the vicar is watching horror movies.
Oh yeah, so good.
Just perfect.
He's just so indignant
what a
watching them.
fucking goth.
I know.
Like that is such
It's so
goth
gothic.
coded behavior.
It really is.
Like you work in a in an old
church
like
in
an old
the UK.
Victorian or
Yeah.
Yeah. Just perfect.
Agreed.
Little old British lady fixes the pot plants. I love everything about it.
It really it's so cute. It's like it's sick plants. I have to take them. It's just very cute.
It's very like if I see the dumb bastard chewing on the lefty scissors, I'm gonna help him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The whole confrontation and not confrontation, but the whole conversation in the doctor's office where he's telling her she's pregnant. I did notice some little kilts on some of the chromosomes. There is a real risk for ginger hair. Like
It's so good. I love it.
Perfect. I loved all the dramatic walks through the long grass on the tops of the cliffs.
Yeah.
Like that's
Everyone did their best thinking in this movie
That
on
is
top
the-
of a hill with long grass on it. Yeah.
That is the Anglophile porn if I've ever seen it. It
Yeah.
happens a lot.
Happens a lot in this
'Cause
movie. And in
in like any small town, because it happens in Pride and Prejudice
it's
too.
its best feature, you know?
It's so gorgeous there. I can't even. I miss it so much.
It's been almost 10 years for me. Maybe it has been 10 years.
It's been over 10 years.
Oh yeah, it's
for
been
me.
because I think I was there in
I think you went
14
after
or
me.
15. Yeah, so yeah, it's been
I was
almost
in
10 years.
2013.
Rip.
12 years.
Oh man.
Having a drink with your dead husband's mistress and agreeing that he sucked at having sex.
But then
What a fucking vibe.
What a vibe. But that's not what happened though in the end.
I know.
Which was sad.
Yeah.
But
Like, it sounds like they had a very cold
yeah.
marriage.
Yeah.
You know? Because
Yeah.
she
I mean,
says-
you can tell from her behavior.
Yeah. And she says Honey says to her, I think he thought you just weren't interested in
Right.
the kind of intimacy that apparently he had with Honey.
Right.
And
Yep.
she kind of tearfully says, yeah, I was interested.
Right.
And
right. He was wrong. Yeah.
he was wrong. Like, yeah.
Right.
Like, I know divorce is hard
Yeah.
and it sucks. But if you're not
Happy.
happy with your partner,
Right.
if you don't want to hang out with your partner,
Right.
like just as
People. Yeah.
like I am a very strong believer that the basis of all good relationships is friendship.
Right.
Like, Aaron is my best friend.
Right.
Like, someone who can make the normal stuff fun, like
Right.
going to the grocery store
Right.
and we crack jokes the whole time.
Right.
And we went to, like, today we went to Sierra. It's over by
Rain
Roseville.
jackets at Sierra. Freaking David Spade. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No, anything below an XS is a David Spade. Sorry, that was a Arrested Development joke. But yeah, we just like walked through the aisles and just like looked at stuff.
Yeah.
You know, it's the someone who can make your mundane BS stuff fun.
Absolutely.
And this wasn't that.
Right. They clearly, it was very transactional.
Yeah.
It was very cold. It was very rigid.
Yeah.
Mechanical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what she knew, right?
Right.
And you can tell based on the behavior she had at the beginning of the story, like that's how she operated until she kind of saw the world was more than that.
I think she accepted that he had a mistress a long time ago.
Yeah.
But like she came to a place where she was just like, and that's the way it is.
That's like how it happens when you're a upper middle class British housewife. Like that just happens when you're and I think the thing too is like she saw that and was like, well, my little retaliation is that I'm not going to postmark his letters, which to be fair is a fucking douchebag move to like have her postmark her letters.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
maybe I bet it was mixed in with all the other
posts
that they had.
Of course it was.
But still,
like that's, she knew. She's not an idiot.
Like,
and
do you not have a phone that you can call this woman on and have these conversations?
Why are you sending letters? That's crazy.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
So I think that's the big thing is like that was her little retaliation. But I feel like she knew that like she assumed at the base level that like at least she was being financially taken care of,
right?
And she had financial security,
and that's kind of, I think that's all she really expected from him,
right?
At some point,
and she didn't have that, and that's when she really cracked.
Yeah. The abject terror on Craig's face when she asks him to give her one.
That is a great scene.
That is so
funny.
I literally stopped breathing.
I know.
Like,
I looked over at you and you were not.
What does she mean? What
you
is
were
she
not
talking
well.
about?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. She just means a joint.
Oh God, it was so funny because that's exactly where he was.
Because it comes on the heels of the conversation about her husband.
Right. Oh yeah. No, the editing was impeccable. Yeah. It came right. Yeah.
It's right there.
Because she was talking about sex. Yes.
Yeah. You think she's talking about like an orgasm. Give me an orgasm.
Right.
And she's like, no, I'm growing this stuff. I'm going to sell it. I should know what it does.
It's a very reasonable request, but the way she said it was just so bad. I know.
I think Craig and the audience just kind of freeze.
Went just like absolutely lost their shit. It was so funny.
What do you mean?
It's so
what are
good.
you talking about?
Also, can we talk about like Craig Ferguson and Brenda Blethyn's like energy with each other? Because it's so good.
Oh, my next note is I love their friendship.
Yeah. Was that literally your next note?
Sorry. My next note is, oh, there it is. Because they go sit and they're smoking a joint. They're passing it back and forth. And she's like, I don't feel anything.
Right.
Are you sure this is like, I don't feel anything? And then she just starts giggling.
And then she says he's Scottish.
He's Scottish. And then, and I love that friendship.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. It's a...
And it evolves throughout the movie. Because, you could tell in the beginning, he's just her employee. Not...
Right.
Just her employee who probably has, they've had conversations before.
Right. Like they're clearly like he uses the house. He's not just like the help.
Yeah.
They have their friends.
Yeah.
He does feel comfortable enough in asking her about his plants.
Yeah. It's more of a like employer-employee.
Yes. Yeah. That dynamic is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, she has this horrible thing happen. She loses her husband. And then, I don't really think she has anyone else to turn to.
Yeah.
Who's as close as he is. Because, she can't... If she tells her ladies, her friend, her, society friends.
Right.
Quote unquote.
Right.
They're already taking pity on her. Because they already know that she's in financial straits.
Yeah.
And in a really awkward, not great way.
Yep.
We lost the accounts. You lost the accounts.
5 pence. It's 5 pence.
5 pence. This says pound 25. No,
No,
This is
a special one-time offer. Yeah.
Jesus, like
the whole town.
And I
loves her.
understand the impulse to do that, to try and help someone without, making it seem like charity, but by trying not to, you're making it
so much worse.
Yeah. So she's like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm fucked.
Right.
And he's like, well, you're a really good gardener, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, she is. She's a great gardener, as seen by the giant haul of weed that they
literally
eventually,
like 20 kilos of weed or something like that. It's insane.
I love that the lights coming on, the grow lights coming on at night is like a thing.
This the town.
Like the town, the pub, the people at the pub go out and wait for it at night
in chairs. They had chairs.
They had chairs. They
so
had
good.
Yeah.
Amazing.
The woman who couldn't have kids immediately clocking that Nikki's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry. Any woman who's not drinking and nauseous in the morning, like I clocked it the second scene she was in.
You said the first time she mentioned it, you brought it up. I just was like,
yep, she's pregnant.
Like,
Yeah. So I liked that Brenda was the one to be like, she was really the first one besides the doctor who knows.
Right.
And so she's like, okay. It deepens that friendship.
It deepens their their relationship, their trust level.
Because like being friends with one person in the relationship is one thing, but being friends with both people and like letting both of them be, what am I trying to say? Words.
Open.
Yeah. Like
I should know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's a thing. Like and the fact, and I think there's an extra level from a plot perspective with Nikki and Grace's relationship with like, because now Grace knows that Nikki is pregnant and why she's mad at Matthew. Yeah. And that's a huge deal. Yeah. Right? You know,
because Nikki thinks that he's being very irresponsible. She doesn't want to have to raise the kid alone.
Right. And he has no fucking idea.
No idea.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, but gentlemen out there, if she's nauseous in the morning, if she's not drinking, if she's moody.
Right. And that is sort of the funny thing where it's like he's not, there's an element of like
a little bit of obliviousness,
right.
Or maybe
so it's the question, it comes down to like, she should have told him, but also like at some point it went on long enough where he probably should have figured it out.
Yeah. The Dalek impersonation.
We ain't shut. It's so good.
So incredibly Ferguson.
The first time that I watched this movie, I had never watched Doctor Who, so only later did that retroactively become relevant to me.
Well, and like in 2000, Doctor Who wasn't really much of a thing anymore.
I think I watched it for the first time in like 2009.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Portobello Road.
Portobello Road. The good old bed knobs and broomstick. Yeah, that's
bed knobs and broomsticks.
What a good callback. I did text Laurel, and it should be noted that Laurel also loves this movie.
Yeah.
So previous guest on this show also likes this film.
I loved his whole rant about like, you know, women just want to, you know, they like the soft cuddly things and they poke their eyes out and they rip their limbs off and you know, all I want is to grow some vegetables, smoke some reefer, sing Christmas carols at Christmas and
grow some calm
and eventually, you know, I want to be a dad and raise some calm fucking children.
So good. No, I love that his
and then Harvey's just like, you done? You good? You get that off your chest?
But the best part about this is like,
good shot.
And yeah, like the fact that they have like it's a fun look at the male psyche. Like they did a good job of being like, men don't have feelings. It's just the practicality of it. Like I'm having a feeling, and so he sits down and he just does this little vent
and he just like rants for a second.
Right. And he's like, you done? He's like, yeah, I'm done. Okay.
Yeah,
and he goes
I'm good.
And they go back to doing exactly whatever they were doing.
Yeah.
But I also love that the way, even in 2000, 25 years ago when this movie came out, yeah, I know, the rant he did against women was very specific, and not against women.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It
Could have been a lot less tasteful, but maybe that's just because I'm coming off of Pulp Fiction. I don't know.
Yeah. It could have been like, it could have been way worse.
Right.
And it wasn't all women. It wasn't the women who are close to me are just objects for me to advance my own desires.
Right.
It was just like, he's been dealing with a lot.
Right.
and just like
the two people
the two biggest people in his life right now are his girlfriend and
his employer, essentially.
Yeah. His friend.
Right. Right.
Friend / employer /
he's
business partner.
Feeling cracked at his wits' end because he feels like he's missing something.
Yeah.
Which he is.
Which he definitely is.
Information is being withheld.
Yes.
And again, should he have maybe understood by this point? Probably. But also, still.
Has your girlfriend had her period in the last couple months? No?
I mean, I think knowing those two, I think drinking would be the bigger sign.
Yeah, right. Darling, you are way overdressed to be a weed dealer. She's like in a shady part of London in
white suit and the hat.
Pure white suit.
God.
Like, why are you wearing pure white?
Right.
Like, come on.
Right. Well, it kind of plays back to like what she had in her closet, right?
Yeah. The hippie is like my favorite character.
Oh yeah.
He has
Bill
so
Bailey.
few minutes of screen time,
yes.
but like
every single one of them is gold.
Yes. I'm pretty sure he tried the weed and just like made a mess of himself.
Literally, he flooded his basement for sure.
That basement is not dry.
Not dry. It was so funny. He's like, I'll give you 60 quid for it. She's like, oh no, I have $500,000.
I have so much more.
So funny.
And then they go to the villains, the drug dealer's lair.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm like, what a weird villain lair.
It is really.
Oh wait, he's French.
He's French, and it's a rave.
And they're gonna have a rave there.
Yeah.
What's a rave?
I just love raving.
I love raving. That whole confrontation is
great.
It's
It's like the stakes aren't zero, but they're also not high.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
This is China. He beats people up for me. I love a good villain MacGuffin.
Yes.
Where they
make him scary.
Yeah.
But he isn't actually.
He's actually like kind of a sweetheart and ends up being the love interest.
A French softie.
Yeah.
Classic. It's so good.
He's like a nice brie. He's a tough rind on the
good,
outside, but very soft and creamy in the middle.
No, that's Bill Bailey's pants. I'll see myself out.
Okay. I loved the little glimpses into his life that we got. Like, I have to pick up my daughter from flute lessons.
I have to pick up my daughter from flute practice.
Flute practice. And then it's like, oh, my
old lady and I have got to go.
She's expecting me. We're having a Dungeons and Dragons night. It's the regional semifinal.
Honestly, like we would be best buds with this guy. Yeah. Like I think we know this man already.
I'm pretty sure we know him.
So good. Gotta pick up my daughter from flute practice.
Flute practice. I aspire to be the stoned old ladies in the town shop.
Oh yeah.
There's a.
I think you and I already kind of are.
Oh yeah. I mean, give me an edible and wait for an hour and a half and.
Perfect.
And I'll be eating cornflakes and.
They're heavenly.
Grace. Oh, Grace. I love Grace. Her hair. It's
so
like
soft. Lovely.
Lovely. Go up the lovely hill. Just
so good.
You can't swim, you're pregnant.
You can't swim, you're pregnant.
That's not a thing, my friend.
Also, that whole scene is like that scene is 2000s in a way that's almost kind of offensive, but also I love it. The running from the boat.
Yeah.
Like, so he runs into the ocean from the shore.
Yeah.
She's on the boat. She jumps off while pregnant, probably very early pregnant.
Well, yeah.
And then they meet in the middle of the water, and there's like a very 90s like song happening that's got sort of like a Sarah Bareilles energy going on. And like it's dumb. It's like very 2000s,
Yeah.
but it speaks to me in a way that
it's also like it's very rom-com tropey.
Yeah, and that's
You know, the couple who had a misunderstanding clarifies their standing and then run towards each other in the meadow or the ocean in this.
This movie does threaten to be a rom-com every now and then, but it never quite gets
tips
there.
Never tips the scales into full-on rom-com.
This is a reason why it didn't ever get very popular, is because I feel like people didn't know what it wanted to be.
Yeah.
And only the right kind of person would be committed.
I think this movie, if it was, made today, would be more popular.
I agree.
Because I think
there's more room for it.
There's more room for it, and there's more. I feel like genre has kind of broken down.
I agree.
There's a lot more crossover, and people are willing to accept it more.
Yep.
Because I think, and the Goofy movie had the same problem.
Yeah, you're right.
Because critics fucking hated it. They're like, "Why are you trying to be whatever?" They're trying to give Goofy this character that we've known for 40 years, like emotional depth and because it was set in like a contemporary setting, like
people
contemporary
were
90s setting.
Yeah,
people were weirded out, and I'm like, I fucking love that about it. Like that is so. It was so. Anyway, go watch
a Goofy movie.
I mean, a Goofy movie, and the Not Just a Goof.
Oh yeah,
which is the documentary on Disney Plus about the making of the movie. It's so good.
Nice.
Let's see. A very sweet moment, but damn, that water has to be freezing.
Right.
Like,
oh my god, and they're both wearing their clothing, which must be filling with water. It's gotta be.
And
it's a drowning risk.
They're in England, so it's probably like wool sweaters.
Right.
So
like,
that shit's
heavy,
and then it smells like wool. It smells like animal, whatever. In all caps, I have not salmon poaching.
Yes, salmon poaching.
The constable is very like
singly minded on salmon poaching.
I'm willing to turn a blind eye to the huge pile of weed, but I will absolutely not stand for salmon poaching.
To be fair, he didn't know quite how big the weed stack was.
He thought she was just growing her own supply.
Yeah,
but,
right.
But the fact that he was still willing to overlook it after,
seeing it,
just love it. Because earlier in the movie, someone, was it the bartender, who's like, I'm glad to hear you're carrying on the town's long tradition of not giving a fuck about the law.
Utter contempt for the law. Yes, that was
perfect.
That was the bartender.
And then even the lawman has not utter contempt,
but willing
to completely disregard that part of the law.
Yep.
Because he's probably known Grace her whole life.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Slow clap for the greenhouse turning into a giant hot box.
Literally.
And then everyone gets high.
Everyone gets high.
And all the ladies are there for their tea.
Yes.
For their tea party.
The tea party.
The fancy tea party. And
a very fancy dinner party.
An elegant dinner party. The most elegant people.
Thank you for knowing exactly where I was going.
I just watched that episode today.
Is that the one where she definitely kills the Prime Minister of Italy?
Yeah, she killed the Prime Minister of Italy.
Maybe one of my favorite episodes.
It's such a good episode.
All of the parts of Archer that I like. Yeah. It's the dumb character interactions that are really developed. A dumb, insane premise that's really dark but funny. A single scene. It's like a stage show.
Yeah.
You could. In fact, I would love to get that episode converted into a one-act stage show. Oh my god,
yes.
Wouldn't that be so fun?
So good.
Anyway, this is the second episode of this podcast I brought up with Archer now, so I'm sorry.
There's no way Irondale would let us do that.
Nope, they would not. That would be challenging because we would have to talk about dildos coming out of the bottom of a chair.
Oh,
I don't think we could make that work.
Like gimp suit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it was like a it. Oh well.
We'll find a little theater.
We'll find someone to do it.
Us.
I know someone will do it.
And then just the happy ending. They, cut to 1 year later. She's written a book, or I guess a couple years later.
Yeah, I think it was a year. Was it multiple years later?
I don't know.
Okay.
But she's written a book about this whole thing, and it's a bestseller, and it has been a bestseller for a year. And
Right.
She marries the drug dealer.
The drug dealer. No, a French businessman.
French businessman.
No.
Is.
No.
Craig and Nikki are still together, and they didn't bring their baby to the pub.
They didn't.
So good parenting.
Yeah, and that made me wonder how long after it was. It must have been a while, because she wrote the whole book and it was published.
Yeah.
So I guess, yeah.
So I'm gonna assume like
just
2 to 3 years.
Yeah, they didn't want to bring the kid to the pub. That's great. That's a good call, actually.
Good call. Thank you for not bringing your kid to the pub.
Everyone else is like...
Because fucking everywhere nowadays is trying to be more family friendly, and I don't want to deal with your children while I'm trying to enjoy a beer. I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were we talking about? Movie, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, she's in a much better place.
Yeah.
And her little acceptance speech for the New York Book Award or whatever.
Yeah.
She thanks Matthew. She's like, I think you're a terrible gardener, but you've really helped me grow these last couple years.
Right.
I really appreciate it. I think that was a really great way to end it.
Yeah.
This movie gave me fuzzy feelings.
Yeah.
After initially, poking that irrational fear I have.
I think it had to get to where it needed to get to.
Yeah.
And it's that it's a movie that knows exactly what it is in the world and isn't trying to be anything more than that.
Right.
And I find it utterly charming because it isn't terribly offensive. It doesn't age badly.
Nope.
From what I can tell, like there's not any part of it that's like, other than the fact that like weed was a lot more taboo in 2000.
Oh yeah.
Other than that concept, like I think that once you look at that and understand that framing, no part of it ages in a way that feels really, really gross.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the scene with the banker who's definitely gay with a Norwegian man named Tony.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't even like tasteless.
No.
Like it was fine.
It was very subtle.
Yeah.
And it was
very British.
Very British. Very wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Right.
Say no more.
Right. Exactly. And it was not treated in like a super homophobic way.
Right.
Like it was what it was.
Yeah, she wasn't
judging.
And I think that was dependent on her reaction to it.
Right.
She was just like, "Oh, Tony, he's very handsome."
Right.
Like,
Congratulations.
Congrats. Like, good for you. Nice pull.
Right. Right. Yeah, it was
it was a very I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a movie that for its age, for being 25 years old, did pretty well.
Yeah.
In being in holding up to today. Mm-hmm. And also just Craig Ferguson. And Brenda Blethyn are both
they're delightful.
Delightful in this film.
I just want to watch them be friends.
Right?
Like
just like hang out.
Yeah.
Can we get like a modern day podcast that's just Craig Ferguson and Brenda Blethyn hanging out? Because I would watch that.
You would watch the podcast?
Yes. I said what I said.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Like the court microphones.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, should we rate it?
Yeah, let's rate it. Production design. Yeah. I mean,
I'm okay with giving it like a 4.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's not perfect.
No.
But like, it isn't. It's also not perfect. It just is what it is. Like,
it just is what it is. It was a mid-budget,
right, and it felt
British
accurate.
film from the early 2000s. That house, though.
Right, Lilac House is a lot, and I love
want it.
Right.
God, it's so pretty.
It's so pretty.
With the greenhouse too.
And they only owed $300K on it. My
know.
God, it's nothing.
God. It'd be like $3 million today. Because,
so?
well,
Should do a time money converter on this bitch.
do it. I'm gonna guess 1.7 million at least.
Okay. I'm gonna do this in dollars because
Yeah.
only $500,000.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so let's just going with the fact that it's actually pounds. Let's say like $600K.
Yeah.
It's about double.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a lot.
It's still a lot of money.
Right.
But,
Right.
you know, it's still a gorgeous house.
Absolutely.
I love the circle window.
And then the freaking like vines in the front and the driveway coming up and the freaking greenhouse. My God. Mm-hmm. It's so good. Story rating.
I'm going to say 4.5 from where the characters started.
Yeah.
All of them, pretty much.
Right.
To where they ended was a really good arc. It drew you in. It plays on some pretty real fears that people have.
I think that's fair. I think you're right with it's not like a premise that anyone's going to be like shocked by.
Right.
Or groundbreaking, but
Yeah.
the character development is actually very solid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right.
And honestly, if you... I call it the John Brandon method of storytelling. John Brandon was one of my professors in my MFA program.
Oh, okay.
And he always said, like, if you put the emphasis on character, you don't really need a strong plot.
Right.
Like, if you have good characters, you'll be fine.
Right.
Like,
right.
And I think this is a really good example of that.
Right. The plot,
I mean,
flimsy in storytelling.
Yeah.
Because you could just say, like, woman's husband dies, leaving her in debt. She and her gardener grow weed to try to sell.
yeah.
It's not interesting, but it's the actual development of the story that actually, of the characters in the story that make it compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah. That leads us neatly into performances.
It does lead us neatly. I'm gonna go with a 5. I feel like, I mean, like a 4.5 or a 5 because
I could give it a 5. I think that's the strongest part of this movie is its performances.
yeah. Even though I think Craig Ferguson is to some extent just playing himself, but you know what?
I think he also wrote it for himself.
Yeah.
So
that's the other thing is
like
he wrote it. So
in that sense, it was flawless.
Exactly.
And Brenda Blethyn, I think, could pull everyone up, and every other actor was great.
All the side characters were really good too.
Martin Clunes was great.
Friggin' Bill Bailey.
Bill Bailey.
I can't get over the hippie and how
the hippie is so
friggin' cool. Like how I know
Gotta
that
pick
guy.
up my daughter from flute practice. It's so good.
Having Dungeons and Dragons
night. It's the regional finals.
Jesus.
So good.
Like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. I love it. Cultural impact, which was kind of zero in this, and no one cared about it.
No one cared about it. I probably wouldn't have heard of it if you hadn't brought it up.
Yeah.
Like maybe I would have come across it on like Netflix or something, but I don't think I.
It isn't actually anywhere. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Is, I mean.
So you think about it from like the impact actually given, or like the lack of impact. You know what I mean? Like it's also not bad. I don't know.
I mean, I'd give it a 3. I'd give it a neutral.
Yeah.
It was probably pretty shocking when it came out. Because of, how taboo weed has been in the past.
Right.
And how in some communities it still is.
Could I argue a 3.5?
Yeah, I'd be willing a 3.5.
Okay. Because you're right. Like it isn't.
Because it does age really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, a 3.5 would be fine by me.
All right.
Because I very much enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Even 25 years later.
Right? And that's kind of the big thing is like the fact that it actually survived. It has exactly the same... Oh, man. It's part of our massive
our
group.
middle...
The 4.2 supercluster. Da Vinci Code, Gross Point Blank, Gravity, Moonrise Kingdom, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and Saving Grace.
Damn.
I think we have to create like a special episode where we just like go through and like break up this tie.
Yeah.
And figure out what we're gonna do, because we definitely have a tendency to like prioritize some movies that we know are like we like, but we're not trying to like say they're amazing.
Yeah.
I don't actually hate that it sits at the same level with those films.
No.
Frankly, like I don't think that we badly
No.
judged it. It is funny though that there's just so many at that level.
There's so many right there.
Right below that would be 16 Candles, and above that group would be Blazing Saddles. So it gives you an idea of where that fits. But yeah, no, I'm so glad you finally saw this film. Like this is a movie I've loved for probably a decade.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm glad I finally watched it, and I think we're gonna have to have you over and have Aaron watch it.
Oh yeah. I will watch it anytime. I think, I think he would like it a lot.
Oh yeah,
I think a
he
lot
would
of
enjoy it.
Almost all of my friends. I think that's like a test of like my friendships with people, is just like they at least won't hate this movie. Like it's just such a. It fits my brand of humor. Like I like this brand of humor.
It's also, you know, it's a time capsule of you know, that lovely
early aughts.
late 90s, early aughts England.
Yes.
That, you know,
it's a vibe.
It hits.
It hits.
Somehow.
It hits different. I agree.
I can't explain it.
I know.
And it's driving me nuts that I can't. But yeah, I liked this one. I think it was really good and definitely recommend.
Excellent.
So.
All right. Well, with that being said, this one was mercifully a lot shorter than the last one. Megan leaves for one fucking episode, and we just go for an hour and a half on me just ranting on Pulp Fiction.
You know, it was deserved. I definitely
would have supported that decision had you been present.
If I had been here, I think it would have been even longer. Like, I listened to it, I'm like, yeah.
I would have had even more to say about it.
I would have. Yeah. So I also haven't seen that one in a long time. So.
Oh God, yeah, it was a whole time. Mm-hmm. But all right, well, thank you all for listening to this episode of Film School Slacker. We will see you next time.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to Film School Slacker. Our graphic design is by Mitch Ransdell. Music by Ariel Shalom and Ziv Moran. Voiceover audio provided by Mike D and Janet Paoni. Learn more at filmschoolslacker.com.